Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something to start. What is it that we truly need as we age? Is it companionship? Is it the constant presence of others around us validating our existence? Or is there something more profound that we need, something that transcends mere friendship? As people grow older, they begin to realize that the need for constant social interaction diminishes. In youth, friendships often serve as a foundation for identity, a source of validation, and a way to navigate the uncertainties of life. People seek approval from peers, lean on others for emotional support, and rely on social circles to provide meaning and entertainment. However, as one matures, these dependencies start to fade, and the need for external validation weakens. This transformation is not necessarily a sign of loneliness or withdrawal, but rather a shift toward self-sufficiency. Over the years, individuals accumulate wisdom, learning from their successes and failures. They develop a clear sense of who they are and what they value, making them less reliant on others to shape their identity. Instead of constantly seeking reassurance from friends, they become more secure in their own thoughts and beliefs. Old age often brings with it a heightened appreciation for solitude. While social interaction can still be enjoyable, it is no longer a necessity in the same way it once was. The constant need to maintain relationships, meet social expectations, or engage in superficial conversations becomes less appealing. Instead, older individuals often find peace in their own company, reflecting on their experiences, engaging in personal interests, and focusing on what truly matters to them. Another factor contributing to this shift is the realization that not all friendships are equally meaningful. Many relationships formed earlier in life were based on convenience, shared circumstances, or mutual benefit, rather than deep personal connection. As people age, they become more discerning about whom they spend time with, often preferring fewer but more meaningful interactions. However, even these relationships are no longer a fundamental necessity for happiness. In old age, self-sufficiency becomes one of the greatest strengths. The ability to be content without relying on the presence of others is a form of personal freedom. It allows individuals to live life on their own terms, without the constant concern of maintaining friendships that may no longer serve them. Instead of seeking validation from external sources, they find fulfillment within themselves, leading to a greater sense of peace and satisfaction. This shift is not a loss, but rather an evolution, where individuals come to appreciate their own company and recognize that they are enough on their own. As people grow older, they begin to recognize the profound value of solitude. Unlike loneliness, which stems from a sense of isolation or lack of connection, solitude is a conscious choice, a state of being where one finds peace and fulfillment within oneself. In youth and middle age, people are often driven by social obligations, relationships, and the pursuit of external connections. There is a sense that being alone is something to be avoided, as if solitude equates to a lack of purpose. However, in old age, this perspective changes dramatically. With the accumulation of life experience, individuals develop a deeper understanding of their own thoughts, emotions, and inner workings. They no longer feel the same need to constantly surround themselves with others to feel complete. Instead, they begin to appreciate the stillness that comes with being alone. This time of solitude allows for personal reflection, self-discovery, and a more intimate relationship with one's own mind. Rather than relying on external validation or the company of others to feel fulfilled, older individuals learn to enjoy their own presence. This newfound appreciation for solitude also provides an opportunity for deeper intellectual and spiritual growth. Many older individuals spend more time reading, meditating, or engaging in creative pursuits that require focus and introspection. They are no longer distracted by the constant demands of social life and can dedicate their energy to personal interests that bring genuine joy. This period of life can become one of great self-enrichment, where the individual no longer feels pressure to conform to societal expectations, but instead focuses on what truly matters to them. Another important realization that comes with aging is that excessive social interaction can be exhausting rather than fulfilling. In earlier years, people often tolerate shallow conversations, forced interactions, or relationships maintained out of habit rather than genuine connection. As they age, they become more selective with their time and energy, recognizing that not all relationships are worth maintaining. Rather than seeking company for the sake of avoiding loneliness, they become comfortable with being alone, knowing that solitude brings a sense of calm and authenticity that superficial socialization cannot. There is great power in learning to be alone without feeling lonely. It is a sign of inner strength, wisdom, and contentment. Old age offers the opportunity to embrace solitude, not as a burden, but as a gift, one that allows for deeper self-awareness, personal peace, and a life lived on one's own terms. As people age, they begin to recognize that the constant need for approval and validation from others fades into insignificance. Throughout life, individuals are often conditioned to seek acceptance, whether from family, friends, colleagues, or society at large. Many spend years shaping their words, actions, and even beliefs to align with external expectations, fearing rejection or judgment. However, in old age, this pressure diminishes, and a profound realization takes hold. The only validation that truly matters is one's own. With time and experience, individuals develop a clearer understanding of their values, priorities, and personal truths. They no longer feel the urge to conform for the sake of fitting in or maintaining social harmony. Instead, they embrace their authenticity, speaking their minds without hesitation and making choices based on what genuinely aligns with their principles. This shift is liberating, as it removes the burden of constantly catering to the expectations of others. There is a newfound confidence in simply being oneself, without apology or compromise. This stage of life also reveals the superficiality of many social interactions. In youth and middle age, people often engage in relationships based on convenience, obligation, or social status. They may tolerate certain behaviors, suppress opinions, or seek to impress others for fear of exclusion. But as they grow older, they become more discerning, understanding that real fulfillment comes not from widespread acceptance, but from living in alignment with their own beliefs. This realization frees them from the exhausting cycle of people-pleasing. They no longer feel the need to participate in relationships that feel forced, nor do they fear walking away from those that drain their energy. This independence extends beyond social relationships and into everyday decisions. Many older individuals begin to prioritize what truly makes them happy rather than what is expected of them. They pursue hobbies, interests, and passions without concern for external judgment. Whether it's dressing in a way that feels comfortable, speaking candidly about their opinions, or refusing to engage in activities they find meaningless, they no longer feel pressured to conform. The power of authenticity is one of the greatest rewards of aging. When people stop seeking approval and instead live according to their own values, they experience a sense of freedom that younger individuals rarely know. There is no longer a need to impress, to perform, or to mold oneself into something others expect. Instead, they can finally exist as they are, in complete honesty and peace, without the weight of societal expectations dictating their choices. As people age, they come to realize that the most important relationship they will ever have is the one they have with themselves. In youth and middle age, much of life is spent building connections with others, family, friends, colleagues, and social circles. There is a sense that meaning is derived from relationships, from shared experiences, and from the presence of others. But in old age, a profound shift occurs. The external world begins to matter less, and the internal world becomes far more significant. This shift is not necessarily a choice, but a natural evolution. As people grow older, social circles shrink. Friends move away, pass on, or become distant due to life circumstances. The once buzzy social calendars fade, and people find themselves spending more time alone. This could be seen as a loss, but for those who have cultivated a strong relationship with themselves, it is an opportunity for deeper self-discovery. They begin to understand that they are, and always have been, their own greatest companion. Spending time alone becomes less of a challenge and more of a privilege. Without the distractions of constant social obligations, older individuals can focus on their thoughts, their interests, and their personal growth. They have the freedom to explore their minds in ways they never could before, reflecting on their life's journey, their experiences, and the lessons they have learned. This introspection often brings clarity, a deeper understanding of what truly matters, and an acceptance of oneself in a way that was difficult to achieve in earlier years. A strong relationship with oneself also means developing self-reliance. rather than depending on others for emotional support, validation, or a sense of purpose. Older individuals find these things within. They learn to enjoy their own company, to find solace in their own thoughts, and to appreciate life without needing external affirmation. This self-sufficiency brings a sense of peace that no amount of socialization can replicate. When people cultivate a strong internal world, they no longer fear solitude. They recognize that they are whole on their own, that they do not need constant companionship to feel valued or fulfilled. Instead of seeking out relationships out of necessity, they engage with others by choice, on their own terms. This deep connection with oneself is what ultimately leads to true contentment in old age, proving that while friendships may come and go, the one relationship that remains constant is the one we have with ourselves.